Whew, it has been a week. Do not get the stomach plague and then get dehydrated on top of it. It is not any fun. Thank you, everybody, for being patient with the Bob Roogi series. It seems to have been a popular one, and I'm glad that it has been. My time with Bob was a lot of fun. Bob is just a great guy to talk to. There's actually probably a whole 45 minutes worth of conversation that he and I had that just really didn't border on anything FPV, so it didn't make it into the interview. What I will say though is that this last bit is kind of a mishmash of some things that we talked about, just quick hits and quick ideas. And Bob was pretty awesome. He's definitely, a lot of people pointed out and are very correct in the sense that he is a visionary, and he is in a unique position in the sense that he gets to dream big dreams and then execute on them. And there's not a lot of people in his position in our industry, and we need guys like him. So thank you, Bob, for doing this interview, and hopefully there will be more. Talk to y'all soon. Bye. You have the partnership with Sergio, but as you say, it's not not generating any revenue for you. Have you thought about, what it would take to partner with anyone else or do other partnerships?
So yeah, it's a great segue. I love Sergio. He's the most genuine. He's one of the most genuine people I have had the pleasure to know. He's a wonderful guy. He's also very old-fashioned, and that's also probably why he is so genuine and why he's so successful, because I think his customer base really sense that he genuinely wants to do the best. And that is truly what he wants. And a lot of the times his hands are tied by companies forcing a certain price point, or other shops getting upset that he's undercutting the price point when he makes some money. He makes good money off the side of it, but he genuinely just wants to get stuff out there. We share the same mentality. Like, we want it to be better, we want it to be faster, we want it to be easier, we want everything to be improved. And he's great. I mean, I have never had an interest in revenue from FPV until recently, until I do work a lot more now. And if I didn't have my YouTube channel, I would stop FPV. I wouldn't do this at all anymore. It's just not, I have too many other things to do to even pay attention to this. I might have like a whoop around or whatever, just for once a month. I might fly it around, but I wouldn't do this as much as I do. Mm-hmm. Also, there's a lot of competition. This is an overserviced industry. There are a plethora of stores out there. You can get anything from anywhere now. And anybody that wants to open a store, it's basically a text message away, and you can get stock of whatever you want. Companies will sell you tiny quantities, big quantities, whatever you want, and you can sell for whatever price. It's very easy to enter this space. However, there are some players that are sizable and have accrued a significant profit share. I would love to bring them all together and just make incredible. If I pooled the resources of all of the big players in the industry, we could rival Banggood. We could rival these Chinese companies. We could get good stuff out there, not garbage, and the good stuff would sell, generate enough revenue to drive more development and more everything. So China and the way they just put out quantity is a parasite on the industry. It's a necessary evil because of import-export laws and all of our ancient laws between countries. Mm-hmm. And somehow China has come on top with every single freaking country in terms of shipping and import-export and all that stuff. It's a necessary evil. And without Banggood, many people would not fly FPV or anything. And I appreciate that. And it's something that you have to live with. And if Banggood disappeared, somebody else would rise up and take their place. Mm-hmm. But I would love to work with other shops in some sort of like a cohesive network to develop things.
But there's an interesting thing that I think you're stating here, which I want to like explicitly call out, which is that, to a degree, a lot of, at least in the U.S., which is where we are, we're kind of, our hands are kind of tied by what happens in China, right?
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're casting this crazy vision, and it almost is crazy to say, what happens if the American dealers get together and basically start funding something that could happen to break that, the tie that China has over top of the U.S.
And developing with China, anybody that has tried to communicate with China with respect to development knows that the culture just does not match the ideals of Western culture. Just fundamentally different. They fundamentally think 100%, like a 180 change compared to what we want. We want quality, stuff that works. They don't give a shit. They just want quantity. It does not compute to them when you tell them, I will pay you double the price. Just give me something that works. It just does not compute. They'll take your money and give you the same crap. And you can't. I mean, I'm currently working with GemFan to develop the simplest of props. I literally told them, copy this and just change this little bit. I don't care if it's a copy, just copy it. It works. And it's also a copy of your own product. Somebody else copied it, made it better, and now I want you to copy it back. Can you please just copy it? And they say, no.
It's a King Kong prop.
Yeah. I swear, I'm you guys invented the freaking
I know what
prop.
you're talking about.
They made it better. Can you just copy their better version of your own product? And they sent me the most recent one, and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? It's made of trash. You made it out of a plastic that is so flimsy and garbage, it doesn't even work. Why didn't you hold it in your hand and compare it to the one you're supposed to copy? It drives me insane.
Well,
it's crazy. It's the craziest thing imaginable. You can't make this stuff up. I can't even write a story about this. It's just the dumbest thing. You guys are copy artists, and you can't copy your own copy. So stressful thing. This is a constant basis. This is constantly what you deal with when you're working with China. And this has been time and time and time again. And that's why Trappy lives in China. That's why he lives in Hong Kong, because he has to go to the factory and stand over the worker and say, no, don't do that. Do it the way you were doing it yesterday. Stop being garbage. And that's why TBS products are good. That's why you want to give your money to TBS, because they are doing good things. They are developing stuff that work, stuff that we want, stuff that innovates in whatever space. And yeah.
Have you worked with Trappy?
I have. I talk to Trappy all the time. He's right there. And if I want something developed, I can go to him. It's just that if I develop something with him, then there's another middleman in the way. And while it might be a better product, it comes in at a much higher price point, which it has to. It naturally has to. The trouble is that once that gets calculated into the final price, it's no longer competitive. And so you can't get the mass market sales that you need to support the product. And China comes in and copies you and makes it look the same, and everybody buys that one. And so China just gets more funding. So it's just what do you do? What can you do to solve this and fix the problem? You can't convince people, no matter how much you tell them, if you buy crap, you're going to buy it again, and it's going to end up costing you more than if you just bought the real one to begin with. It's just, you can't get that into people's heads. No matter what, quantity always sells, and that's probably why the Chinese culture is the way it is. They want quantity. They don't give a crap about anything else. And it's just a struggle. Banggood makes pennies off sales, and they're cool with that because they sell millions.
They sell so much. Yeah. Well, I have one final question for you, but I'm going to hold that for just a second. Is there anything else you want to say? Any topics you want to hit before we wrap it up?
I don't know.
Okay.
Ask me anything, I'll talk forever.
No, this has been this has been a good conversation, because I think one of the things that has come through, and I think by the time this interview comes out, my interview with Trappy will have come out as well, and you guys are both saying the same thing, which is that there is what's even the way to put it? It's not that there's a pure. Well, it's not even a money thing. It's that there is a better way to do this. And if we could just do it the better way, everybody in general would be better off. It's kind of like this idea. It's like the idea that, like, if it rains on everybody, it rains, but it's also going to raise all the boats at the same time. Yeah. Right? And I think that you and Trappy both hold that opinion very dear, which is that, and even to you commenting that probably what you want to do is illegal.
Well, if you can see, price fixing is illegal, yeah, but the industry is too small for anybody to care. Nobody's going to care.
Right. But there is, you and Trappy both it kind of said the same thing in two very separate interviews, and I didn't prompt either one of you, which is that, if we can all get together and move the industry forward, we will all be in a better place because of it. And the only way to move it forward is to innovate. And, Trappy's take on it is a little different in terms of, innovate or get out of my way, was kind of Trappy's take on it. But
I mean, he's been around this stuff twice as long as anybody,
right?
And so, right. I bet if I'm around this stuff as long as him, I'm gonna have the same attitude and be like, okay, this is a waste of time. Move. I don't have time for this.
Yeah, but it's very interesting hearing that, and I would be, I've watched enough of what you do to believe that you know something of what you're talking about, and. That's not like sideways shade, right? Like, yeah. I think there's like a lot of ideas percolating around inside your head, and I think you've got some really great ideas. And like, I've watched some of your sub 200 gram flights going. There's no way.
You have not seen.
I can't even believe what you're flying. Like the one where
the performance of the one coming, of the parts coming, is unreal. It's unreal what something that's under 75 grams can do. It just does not compute. It doesn't make sense how it can do what it does. It's unbelievable.
And I'm like really excited to see that, because that would be a true innovation in our industry. Like the miniaturization of 5-inch quads. Like 5-inch is good. It has a place. It's very interesting in certain circumstances, but there's a lot of downsides to it.
Yeah.
And I'm very interested. I'm not interested. I'm excited to see what happens if we can miniaturize it further. Being the video geek that I am, I also want to see what happens when you add in the HD piece, and I'm willing to take a hit on the quality to get to the HD piece to go with it. But
so the other thing that's coming in the HD department. So the other thing I didn't talk about is that DJI is actually somewhat entering the space now.
Oh,
they have at one of the races recently in China or Korea or something. they use their HD system to. It's basically like Connex. However, it's fully integrated. It has goggles, the HD transmitter, and then it has the camera as well as the controller. It has everything, one link, and that's honestly the dream, because DJI does something magical where they get 4 miles on a freaking Mavic with HD. Like, it's just unreal what they can pull off, because all those freaking engineers. And it's unfortunate that they have to restrict themselves to the purely consumer market, because we are not a consumer market. We are a prosumer market. The worst person the worst customer in our industry is still a pro. You have to know what you're doing in order to do this stuff.
Yeah.
And they are entering it as a consumer product market. So they're going to be sending me that system very soon, and I'm really excited to try it out and test it. I haven't told them that I don't really fly 5-inch anymore, but I'll put one together for them so I can test it. I also hope to do something. Oh, you should get Umagod, Tommy on here too. You should interview Tommy.
I'm gonna reach out to him. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to find a way to reach out.
I haven't talked to him yet about this, but I hope to. I know they're sending him stuff too, and I want to collaborate with
Hmm.
him on a video. It would be really fun to like collaborate with him to do something of that sort. Um, I wish that they would take a more DIY perspective, but they can't. With all those engineers, like they are all of our industry put together in one,
Right.
so they
Yeah.
could do amazing things. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
They're never going to. The market is just too small for them to care. But who knows?
It would be interesting. All right.
Yeah.
So my final question to you, I would be remiss if I did not give a shout out and a question to my local boys who developed the cavity. What was what was your take on these guys out of Norfolk, Chesapeake, Virginia Beach that riffed on the floss
That's awesome.
and developed the
That's
cavity?
great.
I mean, I have one of their it's in a state of, this is one of their prototypes right here. I think this was like
I would
V2
have
or
had.
something.
Okay, so the whole dental aspect is really. I think the whole dental stuff is it's like a 1+1 = 4 marketing, because like
Hmm.
when people realize it's all dental stuff,
Hmm.
it kind of plays into itself, and it's really fun. And that's, I'm in part why anything I do has become part any sort of success. And
Right.
cavity is a great thing. However, this wouldn't work out, but a better name for it would be like caramel, because caramel is the antithesis of floss. And like floss doesn't even get caramel app, and it's like the worst thing for your teeth, like the
Right.
worst thing for your teeth. And yeah, this girl I've been seeing loves caramel, so I'm trying to get her off caramel. And it's just like, it's like what?
Hold on. We've got to dive into that for just a second. What does a dentist see when he sees a girl? Like, do you like totally check out her
Oh
teeth?
my
Or
God.
like,
I have I have dated girls that their teeth look beautiful. And then one girl in particular called me up and she's like, Bob, I broke a tooth. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm like, your teeth are beautiful. They're super white. Like, fine, come. You're like 25 years old, 26 years old. Like,
right.
come on in. Let's see your broken tooth. You probably chipped a little corner. She came in and she freaking cracked that thing in half. Like, it was no more tooth. And then I started looking around. And I'm like, holy crap. You do not brush or floss at all. Like, I can't believe this. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Your teeth look beautiful from the outside. And this was like years ago. And so I ended up taking her tooth out and doing an implant. And the whole time I was in absolute shock and awe. And I treated her very poorly in the off. Like, I regret the way I treated her because I was so angry and upset at her. Because I'm like, I cannot believe that you would even consider seeing me and then you do, like, what on earth is wrong with you? I was just so upset.
Oh my gosh.
And my staff was really upset at me for being upset at her, but like she understood it too. And so now I'm just so cautious about like, it sucks going to any healthcare school because you become so aware of all, it just ruins life for you in every way possible. Like, I don't eat caramel. I try to stay away from sugar, and I have a super sweet tooth. I try to be like, it's just sucks. Super sucks.
Right.
However, I'll plug one thing in that I haven't talked about on my channel. I'm going to make a video about this actually. There is a sweetener, a sugar from, it's actually mostly not manufactured, but it comes out of China. It's just where that they package it more than anywhere else. It's called xylitol. It's a sugar that, if anybody is a diabetic, they know about stevia sugar and other sugars like stevia. They don't get metabolized in your system. And they're also karyostatic. What that means is that bacteria don't feed off them either. So they don't cause the cavity effect, which is essentially bacteria pooping on your teeth. It's the bacteria byproduct that is acidic and it causes your teeth to dissolve. And that's why cavities form. So you're not causing cavities to form, or you're not feeding the bacteria in your mouth with this sugar. Xylitol is another sugar in that same category, which is not metabolized by our bodies, and the bacteria will metabolize it. However, it metabolizes into poisonous molecules for that bacteria, for the bacteria. So it essentially kills bacteria.
So it's good for your
and
teeth.
Great for your teeth, great for your upper respiratory system, not great for your digestive tract because you need those bacteria. So if you do have too much of it, if you have like 15 grams of it a day, you do get a little bit of bloating, but it's the worst thing you're going to get. But you have to restrict the amount of it that you have per day. But the sweetness it's as sweet as high fructose corn syrup, and you do not metabolize it, and it kills bacteria. So there's a website called Dr. John's, and this is like a husband, wife, dentist, hygienist team that have developed all these candies in the xylitol department. And there's also a bunch of other xylitol candies as well. However, these guys have developed caramel, lollipops, all sorts of sugary candies out of xylitol. And a caramel treat made out of xylitol is so awesome because caramel gets stuck everywhere in your mouth, which means it's like slow release poison to bacteria. It's awesome. So it's like the perfect thing that I'm like shoving in her face. Here, eat this. Don't eat the other stuff.
Don't mind the bloating. That's natural.
Right. And she just told me, she's like, and I asked her recently, and I gave her like a big 5-pound bag of lollipops. And I'm like, so how has it been? How are you doing with the bloating and stuff? And she's like, oh my God, that's why I've been bloated this whole week. Like, and I told her all this stuff before too. I told her, I'm like, you can't have more than 20 grams of this stuff a day. That means like 10 lollipops. You can't have more than 10 lollipops. But she loves lollipops. I don't know what to do.
Funny. That's so funny.
What to do about it?
That is like the most epic dentist dating story ever.
Yeah, so it's fun. It's fun. I wish I could like sell these stories to patients so that they believe me, but I don't know.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Well, thank you very, very much, man. This has been fun. We need to do this again very soon. So that was it for Bob. Thank you very much to Mr. Roogi. He was a phenomenal guest and one that I truly, truly enjoyed. I hope that he will definitely come on again sometime in the future so that we can talk about the newest, latest, greatest things that he will have dreamed up by then, because I have no doubt that this man will dream up some latest, greatest ideas, and they will be truly awesome. Anyways, my name is Mike. I hope that you've enjoyed the show, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.